Retro.
And welcome everybody to another episode of the Animanicast.
Wait, where am I?
How long were we under?
Well, it's about 3 o'clock.
Okay, 2 hours. We're not addicted.
On Thursday. Okay, 2 days. That's not too bad. In the middle of January.
It's been half a year?
You've missed a lot. I could catch you up, or we could play one more game.
One more game.
Welcome everybody once again to the Animanicast. This, of course, is the podcast that's dedicated to the animated television series Animaniacs, as well as other shows within the Rulerverse, such as Tiny Toon Adventures, Pinky and the Brain, and Freakazoid, and maybe even some other stuff. But today we are talking about the 8th episode of Season 3 of the Animaniacs Reboot. Yes, we're going to talk about all the cultural references and gags and all that junk. And we're going to give it a Water Tower rating. I'm Joey, and joining me once again are my co-hosts. There's my brother Nathan.
Only when spoken to, Scuttlebutt.
And across the country in Georgia, there's Kelly.
Hello.
Nathan, you said that with about the same amount of energy as Tress MacNeille did, I think, with that line. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
That Scuttlebutt line, I thought was like, shout it, Dot. You're. I'll just say right now, the level of her voice did not match the face that they were animating. Do you notice that too? No. Anyway, that's all about Scuttlebutt talk. But today, like I said, we were going to be talking about, this is the 34th episode of the Animaniacs Reboot. It has the segments Warner Games, Bedtime, and Warner Games Part 2, and then Crumbly's Moment. So we get some Warner Brothers, we get some Starbox and Cindy, and we get a mascot, but we don't get any Pinky and the Brain this episode. Whoa. They broke the format. What happened? Well, if someone were to ask you about this episode in just a few words, what would you say, Nathan?
It's like a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a video game kind of thing. Kelly, what about you?
It kind of reminded me of a Super Mario Land I just visited.
That's true. Oh, hey, you were right there. If this episode was made for anybody, it was made for Kelly, right? Sure.
No. Because there wasn't any Spielberg in it.
There wasn't any Spielberg. Oh, that's true. Where's our fighting Spielberg? Not in this one.
That would be funny.
It would be. Oh, well. It's that character. Oh, well. Well, I think we're going to get right into our discussion of today's episode. But before we do, I got to show you two, Nathan and Kelly, a surprise. Look at this, okay? Now, I'm going to have a special video online, and I don't know if it's going to come before or after this episode is released. But the wonderful people at Rock'em Socks sent us some
socks.
Yes. Not just any socks, though.
Are they rocking?
They're rocking Animaniacs socks. And they are super cool. So I'm not going to take the seal off these completely, because I had to do that for the dramatic thing on the video. But you can kind of see it right here. We have the Animaniacs logo right here. We got one of that.
It turns into your face as you hold it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to turn off my thing here.
Are they like crew socks or
no? They're like, well, are crew socks like the long socks?
I think so.
They're long socks.
They're the longer ones. They're the knee high. No, not knee high.
Well, I don't know. For Kelly, they might be knee high. They're for size. They're for size 9 to 13.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I couldn't even wear them because I wear size 5.
Well, you can wear them. They'll just go up to your knees.
Exactly. Let's see. I'm going to turn off my thing here.
They wouldn't fit my little feet though.
Well, it'd be fine. All right. So this right here is another one we have. We have just the Animaniacs. Now, this
That's
is pretty
very
cool.
colorful.
Yeah, this one I like probably the most because it has like all the characters on it. Even Slappy and Skippy and the Goodfeathers are on this one. Dr. Scratch and Sniff, Rita and Runt. Yeah, they have all three Goodfeathers in their own little square. So we have Pesto, Bobby, and
Squid.
Squid. I was going to say Larry.
And the other. And Larry.
And I'm Larry. I don't know how I could have forgot Squid's name.
Brain.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah.
And the brain, yes. And then we have socks dedicated to Yakko. Right there. Nice yellow Yakko. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Nice ones here for Wacko, which is a blue with lots of Wackos with lots of zany things and food. So he has pancakes and ham.
The prints are really great.
Yeah, they really are cool. Yeah. And then we have these ones right here that
they're
are
pink.
Dot. They're dot.
So cute.
So Kelly, if you want these, they're going to be really big, but I could send you these.
Sure, they're pink.
They're pink. They're huge.
I've been joking with my friends, and it's like, that's what I want on my tombstone is, does it come in pink? Maybe I'll try to get Indiana to model them.
That would be cool. Yes. Put them on dog's feet.
He hates wearing anything that I can't get him to wear, like Ewok ears or anything for more than a second.
Well, there you go. You have 1 second to get a dot sock on him. And then take a picture of that. All right. Well, there you go. So thank you, Rock'em Socks. These are really amazing. And I know that, I asked them, like, this is so cool. Thank you so much for these socks. What can we do to help promote them? And they're like, oh, nothing. We just want to make sure you guys have them and enjoy them. And I'm just like,
cool.
That's amazing. Thank you. I could definitely say to folks out there, these are absolutely worth the investment because I've had Rock'em Socks before, and they are like premium quality socks. Like they're about, I want to say, well, gosh, let's look at a pair. How much does a pair?
Yeah, how much is a sock?
Rock'em Socks cost? They have They have a sale right now on their website. If you put the code SCHOOL in on their site, you get 25% off.
We need to get one for ourselves, and then we can be like Rock'em Socks. We sent people using this code, and look how many.
Oh yeah, use this code. Use this code SCHOOL for 25% off. No one else has that code. Anyway.
Well, we should buy one for ourselves. Oh, dang it. Okay. Well,
a pair of socks cost $20, $19.99 at Rock'em Socks. Now, before you go, oh my gosh, these are really good socks. I've had a pair which were Bad Batch socks.
They were bad. Bad Batch.
Not bad batch. They were
socks?
not a bad batch at all. They were an amazing batch, and because I have the kind of feet that literally just I wear a pair of socks for just a couple weeks, and they have holes in the bottom of them. I don't know how it happens. It's just my big clomping feet. They rip through socks like nobody's business. But Rock'em Socks, I wore those Bad Batch socks at least once a week for like months before I wore those things out. I was incredibly impressed, not only because they have a nice thickness to them, but they're also breathable. So it's 106 right now in Tucson, Arizona, but I could still comfortably wear these things and not worry about that. So I'm going to be wearing these at some conventions. If you happen to see me, I don't think I can officially announce some of the ones I might be going to with Tom and Paul, but if you do see me there, I will be wearing some Rock'em Socks with some shorts on to make sure that everyone can see them on my ankles, because they look super, super cool. And can't thank you enough, Rock'em Socks. That's so cool. I think that they actually sent a set to Tom Ruger as well. So
cool. Tom
might be wearing his Rock'em Socks at a convention as well. So look out for
the feet
socks.
Are y'all at least coming to any conventions near me?
We might.
Oh, cool.
Let's move on to today's episode. And we're going to start off first with our February facts from February 17th. Nathan, what's our fun February facts about this episode or this time?
Oh, all right.
What's the theme song?
Oh, no. The theme song here is this. it's a short theme song because I forgot the theme song lyrics. But now I remember them. Now the song goes a little longer. And now it goes and now it ends.
Wow. Okay. That's the best kind of theme. That's the best kind of song is when the artist says, "I forgot lyrics to this song."
Perfect. Oh boy. Okay. So, in honor of the character in Crumbly Moment, who wanted to dance, was not able to. In 1984, Kevin Bacon saves the town of Beaumont in the movie Footloose by dancing when he wanted
back.
to. Yeah. Also in gaming news, because there's gaming in this episode, in the year 2000, 007 Everything or Nothing was released in North America for the GameCube, which was an original 007 story, if you remember that one. He goes to Russia. It's Pierce Brosnan voices the character and everything.
I might have played it. Wasn't there a couple that they released that were kind of just completely original? They were
maybe, I don't know. I remember that was one that was
I remember playing one of those. I think it was one of those. It might have been that game, and I played it with a group of friends, and we were doing basically the 4-player thing where you follow your corner of the screen. And this was on one of the first dates with my wife, and she was very disturbed that after I shot somebody, I looked down at their dead body and shot them in the head a couple more times. Well, it was fun. It's like, yeah, that's right. Listen, I have a dark sense of humor when I'm playing video games. I can't help it.
Got a double tap.
I have a dark sense of humor, period.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in the year 2023, that was recently, Super Nintendo World opened to the public in Universal Studios Hollywood, California. I believe Kelly, you just went there. Oh my gosh.
I did, yeah.
We were just talking about that too.
Yeah.
And you can hear more about that in the bonus audio. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's right. Hey.
And yeah, those are your February 17th fun facts for the future.
There we are for the future.
I don't know.
I can't wait to find out next week when we have February 17th facts from the future.
Oh gosh.
Put that on your list. What's going to happen next February?
Yeah.
In February 17th at some point in the future. That'll have to be the thing. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get straight to our discussion, and we're going to start off with the variable verse, which was mispronouncing Brisbane.
Mispronouncing Brisbane.
Which
Brisbane.
I guess is just Brisbane. Is it just pronounced Brisbane or Brisbane?
I think it's Brisbane.
Brisbane. And he was just mispronouncing it because he said, put an E at the end? Brisbane?
No, he just mispronounced it. I believe it's just pronounced Brisbane.
Yeah, it's true. But I first of all, I had a problem with this variable verse because I could not, for the life of me, find out what he was saying because I think the Warners are speaking over the word mispronounce it or something. Something
it's
about
so
it.
hard to understand. I had to do subtitles.
Did you right? Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't me because I was just heard Brisbane. I was like, what did you just say at the beginning though? I had to rewind it Brisbane. I was like, what? Ugh, that was the worst part of this, the variable verse, just mispronouncing the word mispronouncing. By the way, I just looked up this. Similar to Melbourne, Brisbane often is pronounced as it's spelled. Brisbane.
So is it Brisbane?
It's
Brisbane. Yeah.
Yeah, the trend is to
I knew
eliminate extra vowels.
Yeah, I know it's Melbourne. Basically, because somebody at Star Wars Celebration corrected my pronunciation. I was like, I had no idea. I go around saying Melbourne all the time. And it's like, nope, Melbourne.
There you go, Brisbane.
So this is here. I'll get this is from the pronunciation people. I'll show. Let me share the sound and the clip here, just so we can all learn together how to pronounce.
.com.
Yes. .com. Here we go.
Brisbane.
But that's what we said.
What?
No, I went to the Wikipedia.
Brisbane.
They said Brisbane.
Yeah.
Brisbane.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Brisbane.
Nope, you're still wrong.
The Wikipedia is pronounced
Brisbane.
Brisbane. So That's probably right. I don't know.
Do we have the correct pronunciation of your
No.
name?
You're worse than Yakko.
Well,
least Yakko
they didn't know
knows.
what they were talking about. This, so there you go. Even those pronunciation things. Yeah, I've read it itself right there. And the wiki was like Brisbane.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay. So don't listen to Yakko and don't listen to
random
whatever
YouTube.
this pronounced names on .com on YouTube. Like, they're both wrong. All right. Well, now that we got that all cleared up, let's go to our segments. And there's one segment here that's split into two parts, but we're going to talk about it all in one. And that is Warner Games. And Warner Games was written by Timothy Nash and Lucas Crandalls, and it was directed by Katie Rice. Nathan, can you tell us what happens here in Warner Games?
Oh, hey. Well, Yakko and Dot are sitting on the couch next to Wacko, who is frozen or something. He can't move. He can't talk. He's just staring, and they figure the animators must have run out of money, so now they're just going to be animating the two of them. But then Wacko pops out of it, and he explains that he's playing the new game Brawl and Bash Siblings. Which is very similar to Smash Brothers, I guess I'll just say.
What?
What? So Yakko and Dot, they're like, oh, we wouldn't like playing that game though, because we're boomers or we're girl, respectively. And
Please, I'm technically a boomer. I'm immune to technology because I harbor an irrational fear of it.
And I'm a girl. Everybody knows that video games have no effect on girls.
but then they start playing, and then they don't stop for 6 months. And then when they do get out of it, Wacko's like, "You want to play another round?" And they're like, "Yeah." So, but Yakko wants to be first player this time, so they start fighting over the controller, and then they are pushing a bunch of buttons, and then an Easter egg happens where they are sucked into the computer, or like Tron-like or something, or board game. I don't know if that happens in board games. But they are now.
It doesn't happen in the last Starfighter either. There's just an actual guy. Yeah. The music man comes down and picks him up. That's what happens.
That's right. So they are now sucked into the TV, and they are now playable characters, and they're all 3D like, and it's pretty cool because look, there's new animation. They have like new fighting moves. Each of them have fighting moves, but then they meet all the characters from Brawl and Bash Siblings, and they're very mad at the Warners because they've been playing nonstop for the last 6 months, and they're all beat up, and they just want them to stop playing Brawl and Bash Siblings or whatever it's called. And that's when Ralph comes in, and they're like, "Oh no, he doesn't come into the game. He comes into the room. He starts playing the video game, and he picks the Warners to fight as, and he doesn't know how to play the game. So the Warners are constantly losing every time they do a battle because they can't move themselves, and Ralph is just crashing them."
Ralphie, baby, is there anyone a bit sharper you could hand the controller to? Maybe I'll pick goldfish.
Finally, Ralph takes a break because he has to go to the bathroom.
Oh no, that means we'll be stuck in here for hours, maybe days.
My bathroom? Ralph must be stuck from using my fancy shell soaps.
Then we take a bathroom break and we get to watch another segment if we want, but we'll talk about it later because then we'll just go to part two. Part two, we cut back and the Warners are like, "We gotta get out of this game before because it's we keep getting beat up and it's not very fun to get beat up a lot." So they find out that they have to get the golden key, which is inside golden clones of themselves.
Gold versions.
Whenever a new character's imported into the game, the AI creates a gold copy, a faster, stronger, more powerful version of you. Legend has it that if you beat your gold version in battle, you'll be rewarded with a magic key which will teleport you back to the real world. But nobody has ever...
Yeah, out of the way, jackass monkey man.
Hey!
10 steps ahead of you. This game world is all a little cliche.
So they go to the Gold Dome, where the gold clones are, and each of them does a one-on-one fight. So Yakko fights himself, then Dot. Dot figures out that they're just copying their moves, but their moves are much more powerful. So you go like, oh no, whatever move they do, they're going to do the same one, but it's going to be more powerful. And Dot and Yakko are both knocked out. Wacko goes in, and instead of fighting his clone, he takes his mallet and smashes his stomach with it.
I'm sorry, Tommy. I know you've done so much for me, but it was the only way.
Match! Wacko wins!
And the gold Wacko does the same thing, KOing himself, as it would be. And so Wacko wins and gets the gold key, and he's out of the game. And Yakko and Dot are like, oh, that's all we had to do? So then they jump up, and there's going to be a team battle, 2-on-2. But as soon as they jump in, someone starts playing with the controller, and they're like, is it Ralph back? You know, it's actually Wacko and Ralph fighting over the controller. They manage to do another Easter egg where it's all the characters are now fighting. Yakko and Dot convince them to help them defeat the gold clones so that they may leave, and they promise not to play the game anymore.
Please help us!
And why would we do that?
Because you're player characters. And that means you're heroes. Each and every one of you. Whether you're a girl, a monkey, or something else. And you live to bash. And you bash to live.
Oh, and also, if you get us out of here, we promise to never make you bash each other again.
Deal.
So all the other characters help them by defeating the gold characters. Yakko and Dot are then able to escape. And then when we go back into the real world, they're still playing the game. And you're like, hey, they said they weren't going to play the game anymore. But now they're just beating up Ralph because Ralph's now somehow inside the game. And there you go.
I know we said we wouldn't, but one more game?
Ow! Stop!
Ooh, my special move is ready.
Here's my flare! Ow!
That's what you get for using my soaps.
Yeah, they sure didn't take the moment to explain how Ralph got in the game. That would have been nice, huh? But no, they never did. How did they? I forget, there was a door. That's how they got. And how did that door come up again? Like, did they press?
You know, there's a certain keys that you press, and then you can go through the door. You know, it's fine.
So maybe they did that again.
Ralph will be in there forever because he's never going to be able to beat his golden clone.
Oh, poor Ralph. He's gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. I'm glad you explained some of that again to me, again, Nathan, because I was very confused why at the end why they weren't hurting themselves like Wacko did. But I guess if Ralph had just put down the control, that was. I
don't know why Wacko also might have been the one that picked it up. You don't know which one picked it up first because then they're just fighting over it.
There's a lot of questionable things when it comes down to the mechanics of this world and how they control themselves, or does the person with the remote control them?
Well, it's like, how would he be controlling all three of them too? Like you're one player and you're controlling all three characters at the same time. Doesn't make sense. It was. Well, anyway, let's talk about the references, and then we'll talk about what we liked and we didn't like.
So there's a lot of stuff. Number one is the title itself is a reference to the movie War Games, which is a 80s film starring Matthew Broderick, which I watched a little bit, I think, as a kid. I don't know, Kelly, do you watch any of War Games?
I did. I don't remember much of it.
Yeah, I just know that he was playing a video game, and then he hacks into like a military computer.
I think so. And almost starts a nuclear war or something, or
yes,
I don't know.
Something along those lines, yeah. That was before Firewalls, apparently. It was before the Harrison Ford movie Firewall. Yeah.
There you go.
So just there we go. These other movies didn't have firewalls. The sound effects team did a really good job on this because they had a lot of sound effects that sounded like The Legend of Zelda or like the Mario jumps and the coins and things like that, but just slightly different. I also think, I believe the Bernsteins did the music on this. Could only assume whoever was doing the music, amazing job of like parodying the Smash Brothers music throughout it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, it was really like just straight up. Like if I just like the second or third time listening to or watching this episode, I was just listening and I was just listening to the music and it was very impressive. We have Squit, Bobby Pesto, and Slappy and Chicken Boo make a quick little Easter egg appearance in the background as they're talking about Easter eggs. Yakko has 2 back-to-back references to the Terminator. They mentioned Ted Lasso, which kind of shows you like, hey, okay, so this when this episode was being written, Ted Lasso was being must have been like in its first or second season, I'm assuming. Of course, Ted Lasso just finished up its series. I don't know if you two have watched it. I've enjoyed all the seasons of it. Nathan,
I've heard it's good.
Yeah,
but I haven't watched it.
Yes, and I think Kelly, you have Apple TV, don't you?
Yes.
And you have no excuse then. Nathan at least has an excuse that he doesn't have Apple TV.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's definitely worth the watch. It's a nice show, and it's yeah. But I mean, the majority of these references, they're all video game stuff. It's Super Smash Brothers. They have Mario and Luigi references. They have Jackass Monkey is Donkey Kong. They have Beast Wipe is Blanca from Street Fighter.
Now he's not in Smash Brothers. Blanca.
That's true, but they do have some other Street Fighter characters, just not Blanca.
Yeah,
so
not Blanca, and he talks like the Incredible Hulk, which I don't think he talks in Street Fighter, right?
He goes. Oh,
okay.
I used to play as Blanca, that was the only character I would play in Street Fighter, and because he was the easiest one for me to control, because I would just press down and jab repeatedly, so he would do the electric thing, and just wait till the kid I was playing at the arcade would try to just jump on me or something and just get electrocuted each time. And so, yes, I'm
just going to do this, and if you get hit, it's your own fault.
Exactly. Just try to hit him once and then just run out the time. Stay away from me. Yeah, I was super great it must have been so much fun to play. I was not a fan of Street Fighter games as a kid, especially because we didn't have it for our Super Nintendo or anything like that. So if you wanted to play Street Fighter, you actually had to pay money at the arcade. And I do remember in middle school, we'd literally, as soon as the bell rang, run out of the school and try to be the first one to the grocery store so we could play Street Fighter, or at least, I would sit there and watch my friends play Street Fighter. Okay, Joey, it's your turn to play. Okay, Blanca. Anyway, that was fun, but yeah, there's references to like kind of like the green. There's a green blob. It's kind of like Kirby or Jigglypuff. There's these kinds of characters. They have a Pokemon-ish character in it. There's a reference to Crash Bandicoot because Jess Harnell does both voices, and I think they even played the kind of like the music of Crash Bandicoot kind of sound like in the background too, which was neat.
All I got is a lame spin like that orange marsupial guy. I guess I do kind of sound like him.
Instead of a master hand in Smash Brothers, they have this foot that comes down to select the people. And ironically, this was the first time I realized, oh, that's right. The hand that you fight in Smash Brothers is the same hand that selects the characters.
Oh, you didn't realize that?
I never got that connection. I was just like, when I was playing whenever I've played Smash Brothers, I'm like, I point at this one. I don't realize, that's the hand that you fight.
It's the master hand.
I never realized.
And then there's crazy hand is the other hand.
Oh, that crazy hand. That's crazy.
So I think your left hand is crazy.
Oh.
And then master hand short over.
Yeah, there's I really don't know other than that stuff. I don't really know what else to say about it. What are some things that you guys liked or whatever? Kelly, I'm going to start with you. If you could give me something you liked about this first cartoon piece.
I liked the animation in the video game, the CGI or 3D animation. I thought it looked really cool. And the action of the animation was cool. It was like kind of fast paced, and it really gave that video game vibe. And I like the Tetris blocks on the wall.
I didn't even see the Tetris blocks on the wall.
I mean, that's what they look like to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the reference to them. I'm sure.
I mean, but I'm also one of those people that like plays Tetris in her sleep. I mean, that was my gateway drug to puzzle game or not puzzle games. Match. Well, I guess puzzle games. Yeah, match puzzle games.
I still want to watch that Tetris movie that's on Apple Plus.
I haven't seen.
I heard that was good, except I just have not seen it. Nathan, what's something you liked about this?
Oh boy, I was just like, I think the Tetris. I assume those are like platforms for them to jump on. I don't know. I'm trying to think what they were. The Tetris pieces in the back. I'm guessing that's what they were. Okay, I liked when Squid and Bobby and Pesto were there, and Slappy Squirrel and Chicken Boo showed up. Their cameos,
along with their themes.
Yeah, I liked hearing the theme songs. Like, okay, cool, that's good. The Terminator reference was fine. Like the
first time.
Wait, I mean, it apparently says it. I only heard it once, and it's like. Well,
it was the fact that like the first time it happened, I was like, oh, that's mildly amusing.
I'm going to say the same thing I said after every Terminator sequel since T2. That was awful.
But then when Yakko says, and also the Terminator again, it's like, dude.
Yeah, it's already like, yeah, exactly. I like the first time.
Ugh, I am completely exhausted.
Again, just like the Terminator franchise.
And then the second time, I just, oh my God. It did remind me of Smash Brothers a lot. So I don't know. There was apparently Gabe Swar. He didn't like direct or write. Like I don't know what. He's like a producer or something, right? Gabe Swar.
Yes.
So he said like he's a big fan on Twitter. He's like, I'm a big fan of Smash Brothers. And we want to do a lot of. So he's like, I want to get the sound effects as close as possible to the original. Without getting sued and things like that.
Yep.
So he was the one that was really pushing for that. And then he was also wanted to make the 3D a surprise. That's why it wasn't in like the trailer or anything. Like, the 3D animation. But then if you look on Hulu, it's like, that's the thumbnail is them in 3D. So, but he's like, man, we took so much, we took a lot of work to not show that, and it's just,
well, but at that point, it's like, don't you? But you want to have people watch the
episode
series, though, right? Look, and I love that look too. I thought it was really neat. I'm glad, however, that the Warners were not at least like this computer generated in this reboot, because as neat as they look, it misses a lot of that energy. They're so uniform that it's that. As cool as it looks, it ends up becoming kind of boring by the end of it. That's even right.
It feels like if you're playing a video game, like I'm fine with them looking like that in a video game, but like I wouldn't want the show to look like that. For sure. Like
I did think of one more video game reference, which might be in our notes or the wiki, but I just didn't know. But when Dot does her little blowing a kiss move, that's from the Super Nintendo / Genesis game, I believe.
That is in the notes.
She did do that. She did blow a kiss that turned into a heart. So there you go.
I like that they mentioned they're copying the Marx Brothers, which is true.
I kind of had an issue with them saying I'm like, copying the Marx Brothers. I'm like, are you really copying? No, number one, sure, there are some things in the original series that were absolutely we are copying the Marx Brothers at this, like Yakko in a Christmas plots going up the stairs with the dancing girls, and he is doing this little Groucho thing with his fingers, and a lot of things in King Yakko. It's a complete like 1-to-1 of this is a Marx Brothers film. But for the most part, they're not. Yakko is not copying Groucho for the most part. I mean, they have a similar kind of personality, but again, I'm talking more like in the original series. He was not a Groucho. If you ever watch the Marx Brothers, folks, I don't think Groucho ever does puns, and Yakko does a couple in this, which are so not great. I don't think they're worth mentioning. but that's not Groucho humor, you know. That's not. And it's not punching down like he's doing in this one, as Wacko points out. He mentions, and it really it wasn't funny humor with talking about like it's as bad as Wacko. That's as bad as Wacko.
He smells as much as Wacko smells. Yeah.
And it's like that's not Marx Brothers humor. It's certainly if Groucho said something about Harpo or Chico's appearance or smell, he would say it in such a way that the audience gets what the reference is, but it goes over the head of the person he's making fun of.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, the person doesn't get offended and go, "Why, I never." They just go, "What? Okay." But the audience laughs like we're in on the joke with Groucho.
Yeah.
That is not what that's not what the reboot Warners are. They are not copying the Marx Brothers. I wish they were. I wish they were a little bit more. I probably would like the humor. That being said, as cool as this looks, I'm just going to come out and say I did not find this first segment, both, split into 2, that funny. I thought it was kind of neat to look at, but it was not a comedic episode. It was more like, we're stuck, let's get out. How do we get out? Let's team up. And the lesson that you're learning isn't necessarily even I don't know. The plot structure itself was not.
What about Donkey Kong's name?
They sure did say Jackass Monkey a lot.
Uh-huh. Did you see who voiced Maria and Luisa, the parodies of Mario and Luigi?
I did not.
It was Amy Santiago, or that's her character on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Yeah, Melissa Fumero. I was
she does. Yeah, she. Oh yeah, I'm seeing her picture now. Yeah, I barely watched any Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, okay.
I love Andy Samberg a lot. I love Lonely Island and all the movies that they've made and everything like that. But
you refuse to watch anything.
Well, Brooklyn Nine-Nine I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. And I don't know why that is. It's one of those things where I see all those people and like, I like every single person that is on the screen right now, but I'm just not enjoying the show. It's something about it. It's just not working for me. And I don't know what it is.
You need to watch more episodes. Or less.
Yeah, maybe.
Eventually I was like, okay, I've seen enough.
Just point me towards the really good ones. Maybe I'll just do that. Well, I don't know. What did you guys think about this this first one? Good, bad?
I thought the second part with all the fighting went on way too long because there wasn't really any dialogue and there just wasn't. It just kind of dragged.
Yeah. I was watching this again. I don't suggest this is me just being old and watching things late at night. I was falling asleep the second part of this episode last night, rewatching it. I was missing things because you're right. It was just like I'm not hearing any dialogue. I'm just hearing. It's like I was watching a video game and nothing really that funny. Just watching people trying to kick and not being able to kick each other. And it's like, oh, that's something. Nathan, what were you going to say?
Yeah. I don't know. I like that their losers are clapping for the winners. That happens in the game.
And it does happen in the game. But again, that was like...
It just kind of made me want to play the game. I was just like...
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Why am I watching this? I could play Smash Brothers or something. Like, I don't know.
I have a gaming club at my school, and in the morning before school starts, and we will play board games like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which, by the way, very fun game. Totally recommend that game for people wanting a quick game for people to play. But we also have a Nintendo Switch, and we have the Smash Brothers game. And boy, oh boy, if you ever want to get a shot of caffeine in the morning, get 8 middle school boys in the room playing Smash Brothers at 7:30 in the morning. You will be awake because that game gets crazy. But yeah, I do like Smash Brothers. But again, especially if you don't really know that game, I don't know if this cartoon is for you, because it's not even. But even when you know the references, it's not funny.
Yeah.
You just go, oh, like in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know that. That's in the game. But you don't laugh. You just go, oh, that's a reference to this. I get it. Just saying I get it. But there was one part, I watched it with my wife, and there was one part that made her laugh, and that was the initial part where Dot was kicking the wrong direction and almost going off the cliff. And that was amusing. But then it happens a lot more. And again, it's just a lot of repetition. You say Jackass Monkey a lot. You say that you do the Terminator 2 thing a bunch of times. You do bad puns a few times.
It could be cut a lot shorter. I was also confused.
It really did feel like it could be cut short.
Norita. What is her name? Norita. I was wondering why she was even looking for the Warner. Like, how dare they be missing for 6 months? Or what? Like, why?
They're in the Why? They're
you
in the
want
water
them
tower.
to be in the water tower. Like,
they're not bothering you.
You want them to be there. This is great news for you. Like,
they're locked up in an area that no one will ever see them again. They're locked up in Tron land.
Yeah.
No. So again, the motivations for a lot of these things is just kind of off. Like, I don't know. I as much as it looked pretty, but boy, oh boy, did I have some issues with the plot of that one.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get to, I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm wondering if this is our last Starbox and Cindy. We only have a couple more episodes of the show to watch.
It's the last segment of theirs, but they will appear again, I think.
Okay. So this is our last major Starbucks and Cindy segment, and it is called Scanning Notes. It's called, what is it, Bedtime or something? Yeah, Bedtime.
We're waiting.
Bedtime was written by Jess Latcher, and it was directed by Katie Rice. And Kelly, why don't you tell us what happens here in Bedtime?
Okay. It's a stormy night, and Cindy is going to bed, and she's got Starbox with her. And Cindy's scared of the lightning, and she holds on to Starbox like he's a little stuffed animal or whatever.
I'm not scared because actually I'm a monster, so I'm the one who's scary.
He's trying to escape, and Scout is trying to escape the hamster cage. And then Scout breaks the night lights, and then Cindy gets even more scared, and she hides under a blanket. And then Scout grabs the remote for the ship, but then Starbox fights him, and then they both fall into a toy box. And meanwhile, Cindy is singing a little song to herself.
Monsters are creepy because they are.
And then Starbox wakes up in the toy box. And then he's attacked by Scout. And they continue to fight. And then there's a little plush that has a light on it. And then that's Sun Scout. And then Starbox starts turning on more of the toys that light up. And then Scout pulls out a time bomb. And Starbox has got nowhere to go. But then Cindy saves him. And she grabs Starbox out of the toy box. But Scout is in the box. And there's still the activated time bomb. And that explodes. And Scout is destroyed. Then Cindy goes back to bed. And is telling him some story about monsters and their tails or not having tails.
When I was born, I had a tail, but it came off. That's how you know if you're a real monster. Hey. Sorry, you're just a guy.
Then Cindy starts kind of talking herself into how cool at night is. Like, it's not as bad. The stars are pretty, and she's getting kind of like waxing poetic, I guess, about the nighttime. And Starbox is kind of touched by it, I guess, and I guess he thinks it's kind of sweet, and then he falls asleep. And then meanwhile, in space, the leader realizes the Scout's been eliminated and opens a door in the spaceship, and then there's lots of Scout clones. And one of them awakens and laughs menacingly. And then that's kind of how the episode ends.
The end. Very sweet ending, though, before the clones and everything with, I love you. And then you kind of get the idea Starbox is like happy in his position, and maybe he doesn't want to blow up the Earth anymore, you know? So there you go. There, references, I don't know. There was a lot of toys they were grabbing. He almost impaled Starbucks. Scout almost impaled Starbucks with a Barbie leg, and Barbie's in films right now. Barbie's in movie theaters, I should say.
They must have known.
They must have known.
That when we reviewed the episode,
there's a cymbal clanging monkey that is in a lot of horror films and
Toy Story.
In Toy Story. And
I think he's in the Toy Story 3.
One of my favorite Mystery Science Theater films of Merlin's Mystical Wonder. I forget what it's called, but there's a monkey in that, in one of the segments in that, and it's a very funny Mystery Science Theater thing. And there's lots of glowing toys. One of them kind of looks like Simon, which I used to have a Simon toy growing up. I love Simon, but I kind of wish they had a glowworm from the 80s.
Yeah.
They should have had glowworm.
My cousin had a glowworm that she slept with.
Yeah, but no glowworm. What did you guys think about this Starbucks and Cindy one? Nathan, let's start with you.
I guess Scout needs his sunglasses, not just to look cool, but because his eyes don't like light, I guess.
That makes sense.
Thing or something. No.
That makes sense. Okay. I was wondering why he didn't like the light so much.
His sunglasses fell out, and then
that's right. Okay. See, I kind of,
that's how you beat.
This is another one where I'm kind of tuning out. This is the thing where I'm more interested in what Cindy has to say than, and I was.
I felt like it was easier to hear her now than it was like.
But now it's like all. Here's the thing with these later Starbucks and Cindy's is that it's not as cute what to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's because it's like now it's kind of plot. Now it's kind of has to do with the plot a little bit more. Now before it's like, oh, it doesn't have to do with the plot, so we don't really care what you're saying. But it's like, no, that's the whole point. Like, we want to hear everything she's saying and have this stuff in the background. But instead, they're like, let's put lots of noises and cover up what she's saying. Like, I was like, no. Like,
no, the stream of consciousness was a lot better because it was just funny.
Yeah, that was kind of like, well,
I don't know. No, she's older now. Like, you can't have that same stream of
that's true. Just as you grow up, you don't have that. Yeah, it doesn't naturally happen. Your brain. But even like that part where she starts to sing, you know what I mean? And then the song is kind of like cut short. She just kind of looks like possessed for a second. And I'm like, oh, this is what's going to go on with this song. And no, it's just
monsters are creepy.
Monsters are creepy. And that was it. I was like, oh, I'm really missing that. And in this whole thing of serialization that they did in Starbucks and Cindy is something that I don't really care too much about. You know what I mean? Like, you could have like the thing I kept thinking about with the original series is Mindy and Buttons. It's a very similar structure. You have this animal and a kid, but they're not connected in any way, you know, like they're in a different situation each time. And yes, this is unique where it's like, yeah, you have an alien and the alien wants to press the button. You can't be like, and now they're aliens in France. And now, you know what I mean? Like it's can't be exactly like Mindy and Buttons, but
the final Mindy and Buttons chronologically, Buttons does quit. So
it's true in space, right?
Yeah, that was in the future. That was well in the future. So chronologically, that would happen the last. The first one was the prehistoric one.
Yes.
So they
true.
they must match some
Somehow.
in chronological order. Be interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, but it just doesn't necessarily work for me personally. I wish there was. I mean, some can be serialized, sure, but I don't know. It's the main thing I'm missing overall. Just like we said, the stream of consciousness stuff. That's what I want to have. That's what I want to see. Well, I guess let's move on to a last little segment here. This one's a short one and a sweet one too, which is something different for the reboot. It's called Crumbly's Moment. Crumbly's Moment was a story that was written and directed by Katie Rice. The teleplay is by James Butler, and it's in memory of Paul Coker, Paul Coker was an illustrator. He did stuff on like Mad Magazine, which is funny because I was looking at this cartoon going, the style of this looks very like almost like those Mad Magazine characters. And sure enough, that's what Paul Coker worked on. So yeah, they're totally doing kind of like a Paul Coker cartoon brought to life. But Paul Coker also worked on Rankin Bass character design.
Rudolph.
Yeah, now he didn't do Rudolph, but he did work on Frosty the Snowman and what's some other things here. He did Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Here Comes Peter Cottontail.
Well, when I hear Rankin Bass, I hear Rudolph.
Yeah. So he worked with Rudolph on the sequels. So
they're all shiny New Year, yeah.
So that's something. But yeah, that's Paul Coker. Anyway, this segment right here is kind of it's a mascot who, they show his day-to-day life, and it involves him getting beat up in one way or another. He's not having a very fun life. He gets trash thrown at him as he dances. He goes home and soaks in a bubble bath, and he kind of looks across the street out the window, and he can see this dance class in this building across. So he kind of gets into his own groove and has a leotard on, and he's jumping around in his mascot uniform. This guy is so into character, he'll take off the body, but he never takes off that mask. It's dedication. He finishes his dance, and there's a knock at the door, and it's the dance instructor from next door who just has her hand out, and then it closes with him doing ballet in the dance class all together with the other ballerinas. The end. So yeah, Crumbly is kind of a Philly fanatic. I think he's a mixture between Philly fanatic and gritty. If I were to pick two, we were having a discussion before we were recording about all the different mascots he could be, but he's a mascot. What can I say about it? But there's not much else to say about references for that. What did you guys think about this final segment? Kelly, let's start with you.
It was definitely different in tone.
That's true. Nathan, what about you? Did you like this different in tone segment?
Yeah, I thought it was going to end like the grass one or something, where like subverting our expectations. Yeah, but no, it was sweet. Like, and it was short, which I liked.
Yeah,
exactly. Perfect length for the cartoon.
I 100% agree with that. Lengthwise, is that this is, and it was nice to see something where it's like there's not like a sarcastic twist at the end. It's just a genuine like, and it was a salute to Paul Coker, as I was saying. So yeah, don't make it. It was a genuine salute, is what.
And it was kind of a fun animation, different. It was like it was. Yeah. I have no issues with it. Like it wasn't funny necessarily, but like it was
that's true. It was definitely nothing.
It was about had as many jokes as the Warner Gamer, and it was
that's true.
And it was a lot shorter. So.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our water tower rating. out of 5 water towers, how many would you give this episode of the Animaniacs Reboot? Nathan, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. I'm going to give it 2.5. I mean, it wasn't like funny, but I can at least, it's mostly just like, it's different. And I did play Smash Brothers, but again, yeah, I was just like, I'd rather play Smash Brothers than watch that episode. I haven't played Smash Brothers in years. So
oh no,
I know exactly. So
I remember we were going to Fan X. You were playing Smash Brothers in the plane. That might have been the last time.
That was probably the last time I played. I don't know.
Kelly, what about you?
I'll go with 3. It was fine. I like the cool animation and the Warner games segments. Mm-hmm. I didn't find any of the segments particularly funny, but the whole thing was just a little different from the norm because they didn't have a Pinky in the Brain, and it was decent.
Okay. All right. This is why I'm glad I go last, because I sometimes get bumped to help bump up my grade a little bit. I did not find this episode funny. I can't really think of
triple
any
agreement.
Yeah, it was a triple agreement. I was going to give this 2, but I'm going to say 2.5 because, yeah, visually it was something very different. You had cameos in it. I appreciated that. But boy, oh boy, I really wish this episode was funny. And it just wasn't. It just was not funny. It was visually neat to see. And it was nice to see it, like Kelly mentioned, not in that same repetitive format of the Warners and Pinky and the Brain. The Warners and Pinky and the Brain. Or mostly Pinky and the Brain, but let's put in this quick little Warners thing in it just so we can say that they're in it. I'm glad they finally were able to break free of that format in many ways in this one. But so that 2.5 is all for style.
And you had Slappy in it, so you got to be happy.
Exactly. So the guy sort of got Slappy walking around in the background. I don't know. But it's all for style, how it looked and how it sounded, music and sound effects wise. Humor wise, nothing. Absolutely nothing was funny in this episode. So it is I'm like, for that reason alone, there you go. 2.5 out of 5. It made it halfway there. For me. So there we go. Well, before we get to contact information, I'm going to surprise you two with just a few quick questions here, because we can't go without some water tower trivia, because we didn't do it the other few times.
I know. I was hoping you forgot.
Exactly. No, we're going to do this, and I'm just going to randomly pick who goes first. I'm going to say, Nathan, you go first. Okay? So Here we go. You're both going to get 5 questions, but you have the chance to steal. And there will be a time limit set on these questions that will depend on how much I want to waiting for you to give an answer. So here we go. So this is a great question for Nathan. I hope you get it. Who is Slappy's nephew?
Skippy.
That's right.
He's behind you.
What? Oh, he is. Yeah, Slappy. Skippy is behind me on my Zoom thing. Okay. What country comes after Finland, but before Now in One Piece, Kelly?
What is Germany?
That is correct.
Why are you laughing? Is it because I put it in the form of a question?
Yes. I'm laughing
Sorry.
because you put it in the form of a question.
It's innate.
Okay.
It's in
speaking of Nate, let's go back to him. Number 3, in the first episode of Animaniacs, it has a calypso. Okay, what is it called?
Okay, wait, repeat the question.
Okay, the first episode of Animaniacs.
Okay.
Premiere episode. It has a calypso song. Okay? Calypso song, originally written by Harry Belafonte, and they almost didn't get the rights to it. And Nathan, what's the title of the calypso song that they're singing?
Is it Monkey Song?
Oh, that's right. It's right at the buzzer. He was about to say a bunch of different things. We'll accept that. It is the Monkey Song, but we'll accept Monkey Song is the correct answer. Kelly was ready to steal. She was raising her hand. Okay. Number 4. Animaniacs often parodies Disney movies. The Brain's Apprentice spoofs a scene from Fantasia. What's unusual about this cartoon compared to most of the other Animaniacs cartoons?
Ew. I don't remember.
Okay, Nathan, what do you think? What would be unusual about The Brain's Apprentice compared to other Animaniacs cartoons?
There is no dialogue.
That is exactly correct.
That's
yes. It contains no dialogue. All right. Nathan is in the lead, I think.
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
So here we go. Number 5 for Nathan. Wacko writes his own song in Wacko's blank note song. What number goes in the blank?
Is it one note? One?
That is incorrect. Kelly?
Is it
number?
2?
It is 2. It's a squeezy and a pulley. Whatever he says. Okay, what is the Warner sisters' full name, Nathan?
Oh my gosh. I'll just let Kelly steal it.
You're not even going to give it a try?
Okay, Louisa Francesca Banana Fana Fesca the third dot. Wait.
No, that is close, but that is not it. Okay, Kelly, this is a chance to get in the lead once again. This is great. We're going back and forth.
Okay. Well, see, now he said that. And, okay.
Good.
It's like Princess Louisa Francesca. I think he had it right. Princess Louisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobesca the third.
Well, he did say Fesca instead of Besca. But unfortunately, Kelly, you missed out on... You started with Princess Louisa Francesca. You missed Angelina Contessa. Angelina Contessa Louisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobesca the third. That is a hard one. I like that one, though. That's good.
I usually know it.
It's hard when you... Yeah, that's one of those ones where you kind of have to be mentally prepared for it, and we were not. Okay. Back to Nathan. Oh, no, I guess to Kelly, right? Yeah, to Kelly. Kelly, well, good luck with this.
Oh,
because it says... What is... Beep. Which is not the name of... This is kind of one of these questions. Again, it should be multiple choice, but there's not. Which is not the name of one of the Goodfeathers, Kelly? Now you got to give me the answer that the person put down.
No way. Bob.
Oh, that's.
Well, it's Bobby.
It.
So yeah,
that's true. That's true. So Bob would technically be a name of the Goodfeather. Okay, Nathan, give me a random name.
Harry.
You were actually very close because it's Harry.
Ah, dang it!
Nathan was so close. I was almost going to give a clue and say it's a prince, but. Let's go to Nathan. What kind of movie was shown in this cartoon, Nathan?
That's not funny.
What kind of movie was shown in this cartoon?
I'm sorry. Silent movie. Silent movie. I was to say.
No, that's wrong. Okay. Kelly.
Is it a French film?
It's Dinosaur, of course.
Oh.
Okay. Number 9.
I was thinking it might be from Driving Saini.
That's true. No, I think he was talking about I think he's talking about Critical Condition. Maybe there's a dinosaur on that.
That's the one where they're going Alouette.
That's true.
Alouette. Whatever they say in French. I don't know.
Well, Kelly, what name does the Warner sister not like to be called?
Call her Dottie and you die.
That's right. Okay. I've totally lost who's in front, but I don't know. Do you guys remember at this point?
No, I don't remember.
No.
We'll have the announcer give out the winner. at the end. He hasn't done anything for a while. I'll have to pay him some money, but I'll let him say the winner.
Yay.
Okay. Number 10. Yeah, I'm glad you like to hear him. Okay, finally, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Scratch and Sniff asked Wacko what was on his mind. What does Wacko say what does Wacko not say is on his mind?
So this is going to be what not the answer is, because this is dumb.
Yes.
I'll say, oh my gosh. It says like hair, hat, and we'll say I'll say hair. He says hair, but whatever, hair.
No, you're right. He does say hair, so that would not be one of the answers.
I know, but I'm like, what? Yeah, Kelly steal it. Kelly knows what he didn't say.
Oh, I was gonna say hair, but hat.
No, he does say his hat.
He says hat too.
My skin.
Oh,
but he doesn't say his ears.
Okay.
Yeah, that one you could maybe figure out. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, after that exciting round of Water Tower trivia from this Animaniacs book that you too can purchase at Amazon. It's a wonderful way to spend your money if you want to be frustrated.
Yeah, wow.
Let's go to the announcer with today's winner.
Oh, Nelly, that was some exciting Animaniacs trivia, I must say. And I must say, the winner of today's Water Tower trivia is none other than, well, both Nathan and Kelly, because it was a tie. That's right, they both got 3 answers correct. Hooray, hooray! Oh boy, what an exciting round, and maybe they'll have more questions that I made for that some random person made and put on Amazon for them to sell. I certainly didn't come up and am not the ghostwriter of this Animaniacs trivia book. Back to the studio.
There we are. So I'm glad we've all figured that out. Thank you for the announcer for being the only one that was keeping track of the score. Let's get to some contact information. Nathan, where can people find you online?
Joey, I'm on Twitter, which is now X. It's so exciting. Everyone loves it, and it's going to be around forever.
Kelly, what about you?
X never ever marks the spot. I guess I'm there also. Yoda Princess YODAPRN CSS.
Yep, we're on X, which sounds horrible because that means you're on a drug, doesn't it? Yeah, man, I'm on X. Woo! But it is not ecstasy to be on Twitter or whatever it is these days. But they're still on there. Hey, Twitter or whatever it's called right now, I think it's as good as the people that you follow and the conversations that you have. So as long as you're just talking about fun things like Animaniacs, hey, it's not that bad of a place to be. But that being said, we're also on Threads right now, and Facebook and Instagram and other things as well. So check us out on whatever social media stuff you got. And of course, subscribe to us on whatever podcast player that you're listening to at this point to keep listening to other episodes of us. And I think that'll do it for today's episode. So for Nathan and Kelly, this is Joey saying good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures, Freakazoid, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds are registered trademarks and or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animanicast unless otherwise indicated.
Something incredible has happened.
Someone on Reddit said they're actually enjoying the reboot?